Okay, Chris, just going to show you how you would go about, plugging this thing in and turning it on when it's in your bus. So assume we've mounted it, batteries are mounted, etc, etc. The connections that you've got to do, obviously AC one out, so that'll go straight to a CMS power point. Let's see if I can do this one-handed because I don't have a jolly what do you call it, tripod. So that'll plug into your power point there. Hear the click. You loop out of that power point to the next one in the string, and so on and so forth. So here we are, we've got our main power connection. The other one we've got is our shore power, and that's going to go into your shore power inlet. And the cool thing about these, you can't mix them up. So the one with the pins is power going in, and we're going to plug that into the back of the shore power plug. So that'll be in the side of your bus. Click. So just make sure those little tags there click in, and that's the shore power connection done for your coaster. The Phoenix inverter, which I'm assuming you'll mount somewhere in here with this guy on the batteries, you will just plug that fellow into its receptacle at the top of the inverter. The other connections that you've got to do are these black and orange ones here. That's going to go to your batteries. So here's your two batteries. Well, these are my two batteries set up on my bench. Pretty simple. Pull the little red lug off that's on. So what we're going to do, we're going to connect the positive to the top battery. You'll put these two daisy chains on your two batteries when they're set up in your bus. Leave a bit of a gap, otherwise these get too tight if it's too close together. I've got about, what's that, inch and a half or something. This little black daisy chain cable goes in on the you see L1 RS485L0. So L0 will be on the bottom battery. You'll plug into L1 on the top battery, and now you've just linked them on the comms side of things. The negative terminal we're going to put on the bottom battery. So your positive and negative, you would have heard the little click, positive and negative on opposite batteries. If you add a third one at a later stage, this guy would just get moved up to number 3 battery. You'd run a daisy chain link from here to there. These things come supplied with each battery. The other one I didn't mention on the previous video, this blue data lead, and find the end, here it is, and it'll actually tell you on there, if I get it around the right way, that's your BMS CAN bus cable, and this end goes to the battery. There we are, focused. So that's going to go in where it says the word CAN, because that is CAN, C-A-N. So plug that guy in there. Batteries are connected, 240s connected. The only other thing you'll have to do obviously is the solar, and I haven't got anything set up for that just yet. They'll go in there wired into that breaker, and your 12 volt out mentioned previously. Okay, so to fire this thing up, now there could be a couple of issues with this thing. When you first turn it on, there's going to be a fair inrush as the capacitors and everything charge up in the MultiPlus. So what we're going to do, just turn on the on switch, press that to on, press that to on, nothing's happened. So what we do now, the top one, which is the master, the one with the blue cable, he's the master. We just press the SW button. If we wait a bit, we get a few flashes, and they'll start waking up. Hopefully they'll find each other and settle themselves down. The other thing they're waiting for also is to communicate with the colour control. So the alarm lights or the protect light has gone out, and the state of charge lights are flashing. So they're ready to go. So they would have power on their output terminals. So now you're going to come over to your MultiPlus, and the main battery isolator you're going to turn on. Let's listen carefully. Didn't hear, yes. So if we come over to the batteries, have a look, protect light has come on. So what's happened is, because all those capacitors you know, like a couple of 100 amps in a quick second, it's actually thrown the batteries into an alarm state. So easy fix, just switch off, wait a couple of seconds, turn them back on, both of them, and then press your SW button again, and they'll start waking up. We have a look over here, we've got power on now because the colour control's booting up. I've not turned on the inverter yet, so we'll just let the system wake itself up. So the batteries have calmed down, they're happy now. Protect light's gone off, so we're all good. Just waiting for the colour control to wake up. Something you will need to do with the colour control is set it up for your Wi-Fi, and I can show you that shortly in the menus. Of course, it always takes time when you're watching it. Here we go, starting to get somewhere now. So here we are. So it's showing the inverter's off, charge controller's communicating, but not showing any power because we don't have any solar panels connected. The battery's showing 88% currently, and inverter's in the off position. We come down here and switch that guy on. Heard the click and the clunk. Inverter on. Okay, so means we're inverter side here, or charger. So these lights here would come on when you've got mains plugged in and it's doing bulk absorption, float charge, etc. But we're in inverter on, and just waiting for, there we are, inverting. So the color control is now reflecting that LED output of the top one being on, and it says we're inverting, so we're producing 240. So then you would come down here to AC output, turn that guy on. If we check the test button, you can see that it trips, so we have power. If we try it on AC2, nothing happens. So AC2 out only works when you've got a mains connection, or a shore power connection I should say. So AC2 for your aircon won't run off batteries, obviously, it only run off shore power, which is what you requested. So yep, we've got power there, so that means if I plug something into that guy, it would be on. Let's find a good load. Here we are. So I'll get my heat gun. Sorry, I had to do all this one-handed. And set him down a bit at first. Okay. Oop, it's a bit embarrassing. I've done something wrong here. They're on. Oh, hang on. I'm a goose. Turn on the power point. That'll work. There we are. Heat gun's working, and now if we have a look, we'll see I've got it on a low setting, obviously, so it's only 250 watts. I'll crank it up. You can see that's going up. 1300 watts. $1800 watts, so that's flat chat on my heat gun. Just winding back down. And I'll get rid of that jelly. There we are. I want to get rid of that label. So that we can see the battery's pushing out 11 amps, 288 watts. We crank it up. Battery's delivering 84 amps, 26 volts, 2 kilowatts. So she's going like a trooper. And that's probably all there is to know. There'll be I'll put a grommet around that too, by the way, just so we don't have a rough edge, of course. Just didn't have any left, so I'll get one of those tomorrow, and then this thing is ready to be shipped out to you. Now, to do a shutdown, next step, if we want to shut it down for whatever reason, off button. So we've turned off the AC loads, and then turn off your AC breakers, turn off your main battery breaker, so you've now isolated the batteries from the inverter system. Come over here and simply off. All done, and they're safe to disconnect now. So there you are, mate. Enjoy it.